Hello and welcome to the Achievement Guide for Well Read. In this guide we'll be showing you the locations of all the books to achieve this achievement. You can find this achievement in the General tab of the Achievements window. When clicking on it, it will show you the list of books that you are required to find to fulfill this achievement. Members of the Horde, you'll want to get your first book, The Guardians of Tirisfal, from the filthy animal found in Dalaran with the Lich King. This book can also be found in Stormwind. Once you have read this book, you can then leave the filthy animal and head over to the Violet Citadel. Once you arrive there, go up the stairs on the inside and head to the left, taking the portal to the Caverns of Time. Once your loading screen fades, you'll find yourself at the top of the tunnels leading down to the Caverns of Time. If you head down these tunnels, you'll eventually come to a house that's sticking out of a hole in the wall. Entering this, you will find the Kaldorei and the Well of Eternity book, which is also available in Stormwind. Once read, head back out the Caverns of Time over to Guardians, where you can find Old Hatreds and the Colonization of Kalimdor. This book is located to the right of the blacksmith near the southern entrance. During recording this video, we're currently in the middle of an invasion, so excuse all the violence. Next, you'll be travelling to Mulgore to collect the books The Battle of Batol, Ironforge, The Awakening of the Dwarves, and War of the Three Hammers. The three of these books can be found on a wooden table on the eastern side of Bale Dun Dig Site. For the next few seconds, my character will be messing around trying to find the best way to display all three books situated on the table. Once done, we will then move on to the next section to find your next book. I do apologise. Once we are finished here, we will then be moving on to Ratchet, found in the bottom right corner of Northern Barrens. This area has 4 separate locations in which you will be able to find books. Exile of the High Elves can be found on the first floor of the blacksmith. Next, you'll be able to find Mount Hyjal and Illidan's Gift, as well as Sargeras and the Betrayal in the inn. Archimonde's Return and the Flight to Kalimdor can be found in the building just down from both the inn and the blacksmiths. And then from there, to get the charge of the Dragonflights, head over to the building with the giant telescope hanging at the top of its roof. Once done, you'll have collected all the books you need in Kalimdor. The next step is to wait for the boat from Ratchet to Booty Bay in the Eastern Kingdoms. Once in the Eastern Kingdoms, you will then collect the rest of the books you need for your achievement. In Booty Bay, there are 2 routes you will have to go to get books. Heading to the right will take you to the Salty Sailor Tavern. On the first floor, you'll be able to find Sunwell, The Fall of Kel'Thuzad, on a table in a corner. Next, if you head along the bridge to the other side of the first floor, and head up the stairs again, you will find Beyond the Dark Portal in a corner behind the NPC Dig. The next location is the Booty Bay House. The entrance to this can be found in the centre of the bottom section of the pier. If you head into the right hand side building, you will find the Twin Empires, Empire's Fall, and the Wrath of the Soulflayer on a bookshelf as you go into the left. Once you've read those books, if you look under the stairs, there will be the Scourge of Lordaeron on the bottom of a bookshelf. Once complete, if you head back outside the building and mount a flying mount going to the top floor of the same building, you will find the Sentinels and the Long Vigil on a table inside that room. Once you're finished in Booty Bay, we'll be heading to Swamp of Sorrows, Stoneheart. Once in Stoneheart, if you head to the main building and look on the table at the base of the stairs, you will find the Dark Portal and the Fall of Stormwind. Once read, if you head up the stairs to the top floor, you will find the New Horde and Rise of the Horde in the back room. The next step of our journey will take us to Duskwood, where we'll be heading to Darkshire Town Hall. As a horde, it's a good idea to look for an opening and then fly straight in, running to the top floor. If you horde, Night Watch guards will spawn and then start to attack, so we'll just speed past this bit. Once you've survived, if you head into the top room, you'll be able to find Kil'Jaeden and the Shadow Pact on top of a bookshelf to the right. Next, if you head into the adjacent room, you will find the Founding of Quel'Thalas on the table to the back right. Again, there's a high chance more Night Watch guard will spawn, so let's just speed past all death. Next, we'll be able to find Mount Hyjal and Ilran's gift in the next room on top of the table in the centre. Once we're done, we'll be heading to Stormwind, the capital of the Alliance, heading to the Great Library found on the right-hand side of the map. If you fly above what would be the King's House, if you follow the arrow and dive into the garden area, you'll be able to run into the library. Unfortunately, at this point, I died several times and had to corpse up to the back. The books in the Great Library can be found lying around different tables and pillars. The ones you'll be looking for are the World Tree and the Emerald Dream, the War of the Ancients, Aegwynn and the Dragon Hunt, the New Horde, the Guardians of Tirisfal, if you haven't already had that one, Aftermath of the Second War, the Alliance of Lordaeron, Kaldorei and the Well Eternity, again if you didn't pick that one up in Tanaris, Beyond the Dark Portal, and Civil War in the Plaguelands. Please keep in mind while in the Great Library that Alliance soldiers will spawn as you're in our capital. If I can do this as a squishy priest in a dress, then I'm sure you can do it in any character you choose to do the achievement on. The next place we're looking for is Eastvale Logging Camp, to the southeast of Stormwind. In here you're looking for the building that can be difficult to see from the sky, but is marked on the map here. The book can be found on the top floor of this building called Lethargy of the Orcs. Now, if characters as fat as I am, you may have the same trouble trying to get in the doorway. However, the guards inside this building aren't nearly as damaging as the ones in the capital, so you'd have minimal problem trying to get the book and get back out alive. Next, we'll be heading to Thel'Samar in Loch Modan. The two books we can find in Thel'Samar are The Last Guardian and Ironforge, The Awakening of the Dwarfs. These are found in these two separate buildings, and those are the ways to enter them. When looking for the books, I accidentally pulled the entire tavern by running to the wrong end, hence the death. But the book's simply on the table as you go down and then back up the stairs. The Last Guardian can be found in the basement level of this building, on the bedside table to the far end. Again, you can expect to face minimal resistance in here, as the guards do not really do that much damage unless you pull every single one of them. Next we'll be heading to Hammerfall in Arathi Highlands, looking for Sargeras in the Betrayal and Rise of the Blood Elves. Both these books can be found in the back building of Hammerfall. The first one, Sargeras the Betrayal, can be found up the tiny stairs in the back on a table to the left. Next, if you head up to the top floor of the building, The rest of the Blood Elves can be found on a circular table between both benches against the back wall, and then we'll be leaving the building, heading to the next location. Our next destination is Tyrant Mill in Hillsbrad Foothills. Again, please excuse the Legion invasion and just ignore the violence as much as possible. Once in the centre of Tyrant Mill, if you look to the southwest, you'll see a building that contains both Arathor and the Troll Wars, and Kel'Thuzad and the forming of the Scourge towards the back, near the racks of candles. Next, if you locate the cemetery between the two biggest buildings, you will find some open graves. In the first one, you will find the book The Birth of the Lich King, conveniently placed inside one of the coffins. Next, if you go into the big electrified building, reminding you of something from Frankenstein, if you run through the back and go up the stairs that peek out the building, you can run again the full length of the building and come out in the balcony to pick up the book, The Alliance of Lordaeron. From there, if you can distinguish your left from your right in orientation, if you head to the right of the front of the building, you'll be able to pick up the Civil War of the Plaguelands from the table next to the entrance. Next, we're off to collect the book The Invasion of Draenor from Scholomance, the instance that can be found in Western Plaguelands. You'll be able to find this book to the right of Lillian Voss after you defeat her as a boss battle. For the purpose of visual representation, I ran the instance accidentally in heroic mode and died once on the big frost wall. But if you watch this, it's a sped up version of us running through the instance to the Lillian Voss encounter where you'll be able to find the book. If you look in the description, you will see a list of times for the exact locations of books. If you want to skip the whole thing of a priest running through an instance, then you can click on there and find the book, The Invasion of Draenor, and live happily ever after. If you're watching this portion of the video, do you appreciate as well that when you see things being shot in the background, you get the tiny pew-pews of people shooting things in high speed? During this encounter, you will fight Lillian Voss, she's controlled by the Necromancer. Once defeating her, she'll ask you to leave her to die, but before you do that, if you find the book to the right hand side of her sitting on the wall, you will get the Invasion of Draenor. Our next location is also an instance. We'll be heading to Stratholme in Eastern Plaguelands, which you can see annotated in the map towards the top left of the zone. Again, for visual sake, I'll be running through this instance in high speed. The books that can be collected here are Kil'Jaeden and the Shadow Pact, which we found in Duskwood, the Seven Kingdoms, Kel'Thuzad and the Farming of the Scourge, which we got in Hillsbrad Foothills, the Lich King Triumphant, the Birth of the Lich King, again we found in Hillsbrad Foothills, the Tiny Grave, Icecrown and the Frozen Throne, War of the Spiders, which we could have found in Stormwind City, Civil War in the Plaguelands, again we found that one in Hillsbrad Foothills, and the Scourge of Lordaeron. After killing Commander Malor, we were able to find the Seven Kingdoms and Kil'Jaeden and the Shadow Pact on a table to the right hand side of the room. Once you kill Instructor Galford, you will pick up the Scourge of Lordaeron from the table behind him. Then if you go to the room adjacent to where he was, you'll find a room full of books that you can read. Inside this room you can find Kel'Thuzad and the Forming of the Scourge, the Lich King Triumphant, the Birth of the Lich King, Icecrown and the Frozen Throne, and the War of the Spider. The highlighted book there was the Lich King Triumphant. When doing this achievement I completely missed this book and spent a good 2 hours trying to find it. Don't make the same mistake, please. Now it's off to Brill in Tirisfal Glades, outside Undercity. In Brill, to the right of the inn, you can find Aegwynn and the Dragon Hunt, which you could have picked up in Stormwind City if you managed to get into the Bait Library and collect it. And then once you've found this, if you follow where the Flappy Bird goes, round the back you will find Charge of the Dragonflies, which could also have been found in Northern Barrens. Next, we'll be heading into the Undercity. If you're Alliance, you can still do this by entering in from the sewer network, and it'll make your life a lot easier, especially if you have a flying mount. These books are collected in the Apothecarium Quarter. The Old Gods and the Ordering of Azeroth, and the Kel'Thuzad and the Forming of the Scourge can be found in the table section to the left. Exile of the High Elves can be found on a box behind the Inscription Trainer. Our next location is Silvermoon City. The easiest way to get here for at least Horde characters is using the teleportation orb that can be found on the outside levels of Undercity. Once in Silvermoon, we'll be heading to the Bazaar to enter the Wayfader's Rest Inn. The book we're looking for is called the Alliance of Lordaeron, if you don't already have it, and you can find this if you come to the top floor and turn right and walk to the end corner. Now we'll be looking for Zathana, an NPC that can be found on the main entrance to Silvermoon. If you enter her building, the Betrayer Ascendant can be found in the back right corner on top of a box, and this will complete your achievement. However, this book can also be found in Danasis if you wish to brave it as a Horde, or want to ease your life as an Alliance player. So if you've managed to follow this video and get your achievement, then congratulations! You have now achieved well read and found a lot of books in a lot of areas that were very obscure to find. While I was looking for a way to do my achievement, I found that the new Horde on Lectitude.org could be found in Northwatch Hold in Southern Barrens. However, I am unsure if this is achievable by Horde anymore or if it's just an issue with the current patch, as whenever I post it on a Horde character, the books would disappear. I'll include a clip of the experience at the end of this video just to prove my point to several players that don't seem to believe it. The locations of these books are supposed to be in the northernmost tower of Northwatch Hold found in Southern Barrens. The Horde character, it's easiest to come in through the top end and run down the stairs, ignoring the innkeeper and grab the books off the chair. However, when doing it on my priest, I found that the books would disappear when I got close. As you can see, the book will be able to be found next to and on top of the chair that's at the bottom of the ramp. There's only a single innkeeper in the way who will not aggro, but as soon as you get close, the books disappear. They are no longer there. Unfortunately, I was unable to complete the achievement through this means, however, I did find the books were also located in Swamp of Sorrows and in Elwyn Forest. This will explain why during the video, when I do the book in Elwyn Forest, I actually make my achievement, as that was the last book I collected because Northwatch Hold was being a bit of a sass. So thank you for following the video, and if you managed to get your achievement and I explained it successfully, congratulations, and I will see you again.